Mr. Carter's voice echoed in the big office lobby. Mr. Carter shouted, "Get out of my building right now." Eli, the middle-aged cleaner, stood there with his old mop in one hand. His hands were shaking. His eyes were full of tears. Employees watched from every floor. Some were hiding behind glass doors. Some were whispering and recording on their phones. Eli said softly, "Sir, please. I didn't steal anything." Mr. Carter stepped closer. His expensive shoes clicked on the marble floor. "Mr. Carter, stop lying. The laptop was in my cabin last night. You were the only poor person still here. Who else could it be?" Everyone stared at Eli's worn shoes, his faded shirt, his tired face. "Eli, sir, I have worked here for 7 years. I never—" Mr. Carter cut him off. "Enough. You're fired. Right here. In front of everyone." Eli's eyes filled with tears. His mouth opened. No words came out. He slowly looked up. On the wall behind Mr. Carter, a small red light blinked on a CCTV camera. It had seen everything. If you were in his place, what would you do? Morning sunlight came through the glass windows of Carter and Company Towers. The office looked rich and perfect. Shiny floors, big glass doors, expensive art on the walls. Before everyone arrived, Eli was already working. He wiped the glass doors. He picked up empty coffee cups from tables. He smiled at the receptionist, Mia. "Mia, good morning, Eli." Eli smiled softly. "Good morning, Beta. Did you eat breakfast?" Mia laughed. "Yes, uncle. Don't worry about me. Did you eat?" He nodded. But in truth, he had only eaten a dry piece of bread. He was saving money for his daughter's school fee. In the hallway, some rich employees laughed as they walked past him. One of them, Jason, whispered, "Look at his shoes. They look older than this building." Another replied, "Yeah, but hey, at least someone cleans our mess, right?" They laughed and walked away. Eli heard it. He pretended he didn't. He just kept cleaning. Deep inside, his heart felt heavy. But he told himself, "It's okay. I need this job. For my family." That evening, the office became quiet. Most employees went home. Only the security guard Daniel, the cleaner Eli, and a few people were left. Mr. Carter was in his cabin on the top floor, working on a big contract. On his table lay a silver laptop. Next to it, a file with important documents. Mr. Carter called out on the intercom, "Eli, come up and clean my cabin." Eli went upstairs with his cleaning cart. He entered carefully. "Eli, sir, may I come in?" Mr. Carter didn't even look at him. He just said, "Don't touch my things. Just clean the floor and go." Eli nodded. He cleaned quietly. While he worked, the door opened again. A young man in branded clothes walked in. It was Ryan, Mr. Carter's son. "Ryan, Dad, you're still here?" "Mr. Carter, yes. I have a meeting tomorrow. I need that contract." Ryan saw the silver laptop. For a second, his eyes changed. He looked at Eli, then looked at the laptop again. Mr. Carter got a phone call. He picked it up and walked out to take it in the corridor. Now only Ryan and Eli were inside. Ryan looked nervous. He slowly stepped near the table and put his hand on the laptop. Eli spoke softly. "Sir, that's Mr. Carter's laptop. Maybe you should ask him." Ryan snapped. "I'm his son. I don't need permission." Eli felt something was wrong. But he was just a cleaner. Poor. Helpless. Ryan grabbed the laptop and slipped it into his backpack. Then he walked out quickly. Eli stood there, shocked. His hands froze on the mop stick. He looked up. A CCTV camera was in the corner of the room. The red light blinked. Eli whispered to himself, "Maybe it will see the truth." The next morning, everything changed. Employees stood in small groups. Whispers spread like fire. "Did you hear? Mr. Carter's laptop is missing. Someone stole it from his cabin. Security says only Eli was on that floor last night." Eli walked in, holding his old lunchbox. People looked at him with strange eyes. Some moved away as he passed. Mia came close. "Eli, something is wrong. They are talking about you." Before he could answer, Mr. Carter's voice boomed from the balcony. "Everyone, come to the lobby. Now." All employees moved to the main lobby. Eli's heart beat fast. He could feel sweat on his forehead. Mr. Carter stood at the top of the stairs. His face was red with anger. Mr. Carter shouted, "Someone has stolen my laptop. That laptop had our biggest client's data." Millions are at stake. And we know who did it. He pointed straight at Eli. Eli froze. People gasped. Eli, with a shaking voice. Sir, me. Mr. Carter. Yes, you. You were the only one cleaning near my cabin last night. Don't act innocent. Eli stepped forward. His eyes were wet. Sir, your son Ryan came in. He took the laptop. I tried to. Mr. Carter cut him off. How dare you drag my son's name into this? People like you always blame others when you get caught. Laughter came from a few employees at the back. Others looked uncomfortable but stayed silent. Mr. Carter walked down the stairs and came face to face with Eli. He spoke in a low, cold voice. You are poor, but I gave you a job in this rich building. And this is how you repay me. Eli's hands trembled. He joined his hands. Sir, I swear on my children, I did not steal anything. Mr. Carter pushed his hands away. Enough. You're fired. Right now. Daniel, remove his ID card and throw him out. Daniel, the security guard, looked shocked. He knew Eli for years. But he was scared to argue with the boss. Slowly, Daniel walked up and removed Eli's ID card from his neck. Eli's eyes filled with tears. His world broke in that one moment. Mr. Carter shouted loudly so everyone could hear. Let this be a lesson. Thieves do not belong here. Eli turned toward the exit. His shoulders were heavy. His steps were slow. Behind him, the CCTV camera in the corner quietly blinked red. The truth was already recorded. But no one had seen it yet. No one knew that the camera above them was about to change everything. Outside the building, the sun felt harsh. Eli sat on the small boundary wall, holding his old lunchbox. He opened it. Inside was dry roti and a small curry. He couldn't eat. His throat was too tight. He whispered to himself, how will I tell my wife? What about Sarah's school fee? His eyes filled again. A tear fell on the food. After some time, he walked home slowly. The road seemed longer than usual. Every step felt heavy. At home, his small rented room was hot and crowded. A thin curtain separated the kitchen from the sleeping area. His young daughter, Sarah, ran to him. Papa, did you bring the chocolate today? Eli looked at her bright eyes. His heart hurt. He forced a smile. Sorry, beta. Not today. Maybe next week. His wife, Aisha, came from the kitchen. She wiped her hands on her dupatta and smiled. You're early today. Is everything okay? Eli sat down slowly on the bed. The old bedsheet made a soft sound. He looked at his hands. They were still shaking. Aisha, I lost my job. The smile on her face disappeared. She sat beside him. What? Why? He told her everything. How the laptop went missing. How Mr. Carter shouted. How everyone stared. How he was called a thief in front of all. When he finished, the room was silent. Sarah looked from one parent to the other. She didn't fully understand. But she knew something was wrong. Aisha's eyes filled with tears, but she held them back. She said softly, I know you, Eli. You would never steal. Allah knows the truth. Maybe something will happen. Eli shook his head. Truth doesn't matter for people like us. We are poor. No one listens. He covered his face with his hands and cried quietly. If you have ever seen a poor father cry, you know that pain. It is deep. It is heavy. It doesn't make noise, but it breaks everything inside. Back in the office, things were not calm. HR manager Grace sat in her cabin, worried. She had seen Eli work honestly for years. Something didn't feel right. Daniel, the security guard, knocked on her door. Ma'am, can I talk to you? Grace looked up. Yes, Daniel. Come in. He closed the door behind him and spoke in a low voice. Ma'am, I don't think Eli stole that laptop. Grace nodded slowly. I feel the same. But we need proof, Daniel. Not feelings. Daniel thought for a moment. Then his eyes widened. Ma'am, the CCTV. There is a camera in Mr. Carter's cabin. Grace sat up straight. You're right. Did anyone check it? Daniel shook his head. No. Sir was too angry. He didn't ask. Grace stood up at once. Then we will check it. Right now. They both walked to the security room. In the dark room, screens showed different parts of the office. Daniel sat on the chair and started scrolling through last night's recordings. Fast forward. Rewind. Pause. Then, he found it. On the screen, they saw Eli enter the cabin with his cleaning cart. Then Ryan walked in. They watched carefully. Ryan moved towards the laptop. He looked at it. He looked at Eli. Then he picked it up and slipped it into his backpack. Eli stood in the corner, confused. They could see his lips move. Daniel whispered, "He must be telling Ryan not to take it." Then Ryan walked out. Eli stayed back for a few seconds, staring at the empty table. Then he went back to cleaning. The recording ended. The room was silent. Grace's hands were shaking now. Her eyes were wide. She whispered, "We fired the wrong man." Daniel looked guilty. "Ma'am, I removed his ID. I wanted to stop it, but..." Grace took a deep breath. "This footage, this is the truth. We must show it to Mr. Carter." Daniel looked scared. "But ma'am, it's his own son. He will be very angry." Grace looked straight at the screen, at Eli's tired face. She said firmly, "I don't care. A poor man's life was destroyed this morning. Because of a lie. We have to do the right thing." Daniel nodded slowly. He saved the CCTV footage. He copied it onto a USB drive. Grace said, "Tonight, there is a big meeting with the board and the foreign clients. Mr. Carter wants to show how perfect this company is. We will show them this first." Daniel swallowed. "Are you sure, ma'am?" Grace answered, "Yes. The truth must come out, no matter how painful." The USB drive in Daniel's hand now carried Eli's future, and Mr. Carter's karma. Evening came. The boardroom on the top floor looked grand. A long glass table. Leather chairs. A big screen on the wall for presentations. Mr. Carter stood at the head of the table in his expensive suit. Important board members sat around. A foreign client joined through video on the screen. Everyone was ready to talk about the big contract. Mr. Carter smiled confidently. "Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I want to assure you, Carter and Company is a safe, honest company. Our security is tight. Our staff is loyal. This incident of the missing laptop has already been handled." Grace and Daniel entered the room. Their faces were serious. Grace spoke politely. "Sir, before you continue, there is something you must see." Mr. Carter frowned. "Grace, can't this wait? We have an important meeting." One of the board members, Mr. Shaw, said, "If it is about company security, we should see it." Mr. Carter forced a smile. "Fine. But make it quick." Daniel walked to the big screen and connected the USB. The CCTV footage started. First, they saw Eli cleaning the cabin. Then they saw Ryan enter. The whole room went quiet. Everyone watched as Ryan picked up the silver laptop and put it in his bag. They watched Eli talk to him with worried hands. They watched Ryan walk out. Then they saw Eli, alone, looking confused at the empty table. Grace paused the video. The room was dead silent. You could hear only the soft hum of the AC. Mr. Carter's face lost its color. He stared at the screen. On the video, his own voice from that morning echoed in his head. "You're fired. Thieves do not belong here." Board member Mr. Shaw turned to him. "Mr. Carter, this is your son, isn't it?" The foreign client on the video call spoke up. "Is this how you handle security? By blaming your poor staff without checking the facts?" Someone else said quietly, "And you fired that cleaner in front of everybody." Each word was like a slap. Mr. Carter felt his throat go dry. His chest felt heavy. He remembered Eli's shaking hands. His pleading eyes. He whispered, I didn't know. I was angry. I thought." Mr. Shaw frowned. "You thought, but you didn't check. A man lost his job, his reputation, because you didn't want to believe your own son could be wrong." The foreign client sighed. "I am sorry, Mr. Carter. But if this is how decisions are made here, I am not sure we can trust this partnership." On the screen, the client ended the call. The deal was gone. The room felt colder now. Mr. Carter closed his eyes for a moment. His pride broke. His ego bent. Board members looked disappointed. One of them said, "This is serious. We will have to review your position, Mr. Carter. For now, you are suspended as CEO until we investigate further." Mr. Carter's world crashed. He had money, power, a big name. But at this moment, none of that mattered. He had publicly crushed a poor man. Now his own respect was falling in front of everyone. This was karma. That night, Mr. Carter didn't sleep. He kept seeing Eli's face. The tears. The humiliation. Early next morning, he went with Grace and Daniel to Eli's small house. He stood outside the simple door. Paint was peeling off the walls. Children's voices could be heard inside. Mr. Carter knocked softly. Aisha opened the door. When she saw him, her eyes widened in fear and anger. She said coldly, "Why are you here?" Eli came to the door, still in his simple clothes. He looked tired. His eyes were red from crying all night. When he saw Mr. Carter, he stepped back. "I have nothing left for you to take, sir," Eli said quietly. For the first time, Mr. Carter couldn't look someone in the eye. He lowered his head. His voice was soft, almost breaking. "Eli, I came to say, I'm sorry." Those words were heavy. They tasted like stone in his mouth. But he said them. "I saw the CCTV. It was my son who took the laptop. You were innocent. I wronged you. I insulted you. In front of everyone." Eli looked at Grace and Daniel. They nodded slowly. Eli's eyes filled with tears again, but this time, not just with pain. There was also relief. Aisha wiped her eyes with the corner of her dupatta. Mr. Carter continued, "You did not just lose your job. I destroyed your respect. Your child's future. I cannot turn back time, but I want to try to fix what I can." He took out an envelope. "First, here is your full salary for the next 6 months. You should never have been fired." Eli stared at the envelope. His hands hesitated to take it. Then Mr. Carter said, "Second, I want you to come back. Not as a cleaner. As the facility manager. You will manage all the cleaning staff. With a higher salary, health insurance, and support for your daughter's schooling." Eli's mouth fell open slightly. He was shocked. "Me? Manager? Sir, I am not educated like you people." Grace smiled softly. "You have more honesty and hard work than many people in that building. We will teach you the rest." Sarah came and stood next to her father, holding his hand. She asked in a small voice, "Papa, will you not cry now?" Eli slowly knelt down and hugged her. "No, Beta. Papa will try not to cry now." Mr. Carter's eyes also became wet. He said, "One more thing. Tomorrow, I will call a meeting in the office. In the same lobby. In front of everyone. I will admit my mistake. Publicly. And I will ask for your forgiveness in front of them." Eli was silent for a long moment. Then he said softly, "Sir, I forgive you. Not because you are rich. But because I don't want to carry hate inside my heart. It is already too heavy." Those simple words hit Mr. Carter harder than any angry shout. He nodded slowly. "Thank you, Eli. I don't deserve your kindness. But I will try to become a better man." Next day, the office lobby was full again. But this time, it was different. Mr. Carter stood on the stairs, without his usual pride. His shoulders were lower. His voice was calm but shaky. "Yesterday, I fired a man in anger. A good man. I called him a thief. I was wrong." People looked at each other, surprised. He pointed toward Eli, who stood near the front, wearing a clean shirt. This man, Eli, was innocent. The CCTV showed the truth. And the real person who took the laptop was my own son. There were gasps. Whispers. Mr. Carter continued, "I did not trust him because he is poor. I judged him by his clothes. Not by his heart. That was my biggest mistake." He turned to Eli in front of everyone. "I am sorry, Eli. In front of all these people, I ask for your forgiveness." Eli's eyes shone with tears. He nodded. "I forgive you, sir." Mr. Carter announced, "From today, Eli is our new facility manager. He will lead the team. And we will open a scholarship fund for his daughter and other workers' children. No child should suffer because we ignore the poor." Some employees clapped. Some had tears in their eyes. Even Mia smiled widely. Daniel whispered to Grace, "Feels like justice, doesn't it?" Grace nodded, "Yes. Finally." Later, in a quiet corner, Mr. Carter saw a reflection of himself in the glass wall. He didn't see a proud boss. He saw a man who had almost lost his humanity, but got a second chance. If you were in Mr. Carter's place, would you have the courage to admit your mistake? And if you were in Eli's place, would you be able to forgive? Never judge a person by their clothes or their salary. A poor man's heart can be richer than a millionaire's bank account. Power can make you blind, but truth always finds a way to come out. Respect everyone. Because one day, karma will press play on the CCTV of your life.